Let's take a moment to talk about managing users on the site. So from my dashboard, I can go over to the Users tab. I'll just click on it. And this is where I can, add, remove, or edit any users on the site. I'll start with adding a new user. So I just click on Add New. I give the user a name. I'll just say demo name. I would put in an email for that user. I'm just going to say my email at yahoo.com. I don't have to put in their first and last name or a website or anything like that, but if I wanted to, I could add that information. Maybe you have another website that you want your username to, you know, take someone to. You could put that website link in there, but you probably won't need to fill out those fields. Obviously, I would give them a password. I'm actually just going to put in a bunch of gibberish here. Well, that's a bad idea. I'm just going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because passwords need to match. And of course, it's going to, it'll show me if I have a bad password or a strong password. If I did, let's say put in some, more special characters, I would see that now I have a very strong password. And of course, you always want to go for a strong password, so you don't want anyone hacking your site. And then, I would probably check off send this password, to the new user, send it to their email address, the same. It's going to be the same email I put up here. And then this part's important, their role. So as you can see, there's 5 roles we can choose from here. An administrator is going to have full authority over the site. They could literally delete the site if they wanted to. So you probably don't want to make anyone other than yourself the administrator. Next, we have the editor. An editor can do many of the things that an administrator can do, but they can't make crucial, or significant changes to the website. Like they can't delete plugins, or they couldn't erase the site, or anything really, dangerous like that. They can basically just create posts, edit restaurants, and all that kind of general stuff. Author, pretty similar. An author is just a little more limited than an editor, and an author can just create their own posts and publish them. They can't go in and change someone else's posts or do any kind of editing, essentially. And contributor would be even a step below that, and then of course subscriber. A subscriber really, they can log into the back end of the site. They really can't do anything. So if for some reason you wanted to create a user on the site just who could come in here and look at stuff but not have any control over anything, then subscriber would be the role for that. Most of your users you'll probably want to make either an author or an editor. If you have people, for example, doing data entry on the site, I would make them an author, and then if you have one person who's overseeing all that data entry, I would make them an editor, and then of course yourself an administrator. So once you've selected the role, you just click Add New User, and the new user is added to the database. I don't want to add a new user, so I'm just going to click away from this. Then I'll go back to the users I already have on the site. Now let's say I wanted to change something about a user here. I just click on their name, and yeah, you can ignore most of this. This is just visual stuff. If you wanted to change the way your dashboard looks or their dashboard looked, you could, select a different color scheme. It's kind of arbitrary. Scrolling down though, more important stuff. I could change their role. Change it, demote this person. I could, yeah, change their display name. If I wanted to give them like a nickname because they don't want to use their real name, I can do that. And of course I can change their email if they have a website link or Twitter or Facebook or any of that stuff. I can edit that. And it's all pretty self-explanatory. I could also change their password if I want, if their account was compromised for some reason or something like that. I could quickly come in here, set a new password, and then, you know, update the user, and that's basically it. And that's how you would edit or make changes to a current user on the site. And lastly, you might find the need to remove a user, and to do that, you just simply, and I actually am going to remove this user. They're of no use to me anymore, so so I'm going to go ahead and just click delete. And this is important. I just want to, well, no, you know what? I don't want to delete the content. This is really important. If you're deleting a user, delete all content's going to be checked by default. But if you do this, then anything that user contributed to the site is going to go away. And that could be a very bad thing. In most cases, it probably would be, in this case, it would definitely be a very bad thing, because this is the person who did a lot of my data entry for me. So I want to keep that content. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to click attribute all content to, and I'll attribute it to myself, or I could attribute it to another administrator. I'll just attribute it to myself, and now I can confirm the deletion of this user, but I won't lose any of the content that they contributed to the site. And whenever you're removing something permanently from the site, like a user, or if for some reason you were to remove a plugin, I don't recommend it, but if you were to do that, it usually takes a little longer than a normal refresh. And okay, so, and there we can see the user has been removed. So that's managing users.